This is my net worth update for November 2025. Hey, if you guys are new here, my name is Riley and this is my wife Sophie. I am 27 and she is 26 and we live here in Queensland, Australia. We both work as emergency nurses at our local hospital, and as of late we've taken a serious interest in personal finance with a goal to build financial freedom so we can possibly become work optional or go part-time by the age of 40. I make this video once a month to be transparent with my finances, to share what I've learned along the way, and really just to track my progress as well. So if you like that kind of stuff and you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit subscribe because another one will be around real soon. And if you would be so kind to hit the like button as well, it really helps me out. And it only takes you guys like 2 or 3 seconds. And as a thank you for doing that for me, here's a picture of a hamster on a swing. So let's not waste any more time. Go grab a drink. And let's get into it. First, let's go through my shares and stocks portfolio. All of the figures I bring up today will be in Australian dollars. Currently in my US stock portfolio, I have $10,656.78, and that is an increase of $997.47 or 10.3%. I currently have $2,794.31 invested into VOO. And as I've said many times before, VOO is an ETF that tracks the S&P 500. But if you didn't know, it means you're basically investing in the 500 biggest companies in the US. So think all the big names that you can think of: Apple, Google, Tesla, Nvidia, Johnson & Johnson, Coke, Pepsi, any big American company you can think of, it's in this basket. It's a super popular, low-cost way to get broad exposure to the US economy, so I highly recommend you guys checking it out. And for my second investment in my US stock portfolio, I have $6,682.19 invested into Triple QM. What are you doing down there, mate? Triple QM is basically an easy way to invest in the top 100 companies on the NASDAQ 100. And the NASDAQ 100 is the top 100 tech companies, so all the tech giants over in the US. So very similar names as to VOO. You're thinking Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia. It's just a big basket with all of the biggest tech giants. And it's super similar to Triple Q, but it has lower fees, which makes it better for long-term investors like myself. This month, I've been focusing on adding to my VUU position. As you have seen, a large percentage of my portfolio is in my US tech ETFs. So I've been focusing on further diversifying my portfolio outside of the US. So after funneling some money into VEU this month, I now hold 1,166 Australian dollars in VEU, as opposed to last month where I had about $494. This ETF buys me into emerging markets outside the US, therefore diversifying me globally. Now, if you guys want to sign up to the same brokerage app that I use Stake. And if you're planning to sign up, you can use my code and you get a free stock when you sign up. If you're lucky, you could possibly pull a stock like Nike, which is worth up to $100 Australian. So if you're just starting out in your investing journey, may as well use this as a little jumpstart. Now diving into my Australian investments, I have $1,157.82 in my Australian stocks. These are new investments that weren't included in my last net worth portfolio. I have $559.86 invested into VHY and $597.96 invested into IHD. Both of these ETFs are high dividend paying ETFs. They both pay dividends out on a quarterly basis, and the dividends that they pay are majority franked. And that just means the money that I make from these ETFs when they pay a dividend are tax advantaged, so they should help me come tax time. A really easy way to simplify this is that, say you got a $70 dividend payout from one of these ETFs, that would equate to about $100 of value after you've done your tax with your account. Moving on to cryptocurrencies. Again, my cryptocurrency portfolio is extremely beginner and it's small, but I'm currently sitting at $375.08 in crypto. That is a movement of negative $4.33 or negative 1.1%. So as always, I continue to lose money in crypto. That money is evenly split between Bitcoin and XRP. And I'll say it again, this is fine that this happens. Although it hurts a little bit, it's only a few dollars in the grand scheme of things. So I'm treating it as a fun experiment. And if one day it turns around and decides to make me a little bit of money, then awesome. but I'm not holding my breath. There hasn't been any movement. It doesn't look like there's been any movement on our property this month. Our latest real estate evaluation gave us an $885,000 evaluation, which is the same as last month. However, our equity obviously will look a little bit different because we continue to pay it off and continue to chip away at our mortgage. So with the value of our property minus the amounts that we actually owe on the mortgage, that gives us an equity of $564,474. And that is a positive movement of $2,195 or 0.3%. Now moving on to superannuation. I've got my quarterly payout from my new role, so I've seen a decent amount of growth in this area. But Sophie has kept up with me and she's still ahead of me. So I have $60,090.54 invested in Q Super, and that's into their high growth index. And Sophie has $61,020.75 invested into Q Super, except into their balanced fund, which is the level of risk that she is comfortable with. That gives us a combined super of $121,111.29. And that is a positive movement of $6,012.43 or 5.2%. Now moving on to cash and savings. We've got about $300 of cash lying around the house at the moment, and that's just for little things like any cash emergencies that we have, or if we're buying and selling things on Marketplace. We have $52,853 in our offset account. We use this both as our emergency fund and also as our lump sum of cash to offset the interest on our mortgage, trying to maximize that as much as possible. And we have about $4,272 in our spending account at the moment. And we use this account to pay off our credit card for any discretionary spending that we have throughout the month. Now, finally, debts and liabilities. I've done a paramedic degree and a nursing degree. And due to this, I have a HECS set of $31,999.91. So that's the same as last month, no movement on that. And the same as Sophie's, she hasn't moved at all, but she has a much lower HECS debt than mine. She has $5,032.21 in her HECS debt owing. And as I've said in previous videos, we do plan to get rid of Sophie's HECS debt soon. We're looking to do it early next year, most likely sometime in February or March. But as far as I can tell, it doesn't index again until May. So we have some time before we have to pay that off. And finally, we have zero consumer debt, and our credit card is paid off in full every month, so we pay no interest and we maximize the amount of points that we are getting. And just like always, I didn't include our house contents or the value of our cars. Just know that we don't owe anything on them. So finally, the total. If you've been tracking along, that brings our total net worth up to $718,159.06. And that is a positive movement of $8,285.51. or a positive swing of 1.1%. I'll be making one of these videos every single month to track my progress and to be transparent with my finances. So please hit subscribe if you haven't already, and also hit like if you enjoyed the video, and let me know what you guys are doing investment-wise down in the comments below. Who knows, I might review your portfolio in a future video coming up. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and especially if you made it this far. And as always, I wish you all the best on your wealth building journey.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that video, you should click here. No, because YouTube thinks you'll like this video. You should click it. No, but seriously. Come on, why haven't you clicked it yet?